Under normal circumstances, I am all in favor for, and at least a little giddy about, infighting in the Democrat Party, especially out here in California. Unfortunately, this particular infighting has two very odd characteristics that, well, assuming that the bad guys win, then it's going to be very destructive for the state, very destructive for the nation itself. Now, here's the crazy part. The good guys on the Democrat side are, wait for it, Gavin Newsom and Xavier Becerra. I know, it's crazy, but as much as I despise them, as much as I think that they are way to the left of where they need to be, they're far to the right compared to the radicals in the California legislature. I've said for a long time that if you want to get a taste of what the Democrat Socialists of America will do, just look at California and the legislature here, because it is already pretty much owned by the radical far left communists. That's what's in Sacramento right now, and they are pressing this billionaire tax, as we have posted over at economiccollapse.report. California Democrats choose class warfare over their own leaders in billionaire confiscation tax. California Democrats just told Gavin Newsom and Xavier Becerra to take a hike. In a narrow, messy vote that required last-minute switcheroos, the state party endorsed Proposition 40, a one-time 5% tax on the net worth of roughly 200 billionaires living in the state as of January 1st, 2026. That's important. This is a retroactive tax. In other words, they can't say, uh-oh, looks like they're going to pass the tax, better leave. If they're here today, then this tax is going to affect them. If they didn't have the foresight, as many did, but if the ones that remained, if they didn't have the foresight to get out of California before January 1st of this year, well, they're kind of toast. The measure, pushed hard by the SEIU, United Healthcare Workers West, claims it will rake in about $100 billion to paper over federal healthcare funding cuts. 90% of that money would go to healthcare programs. And to be clear, the money never goes to where they say it's going to go. Never, ever, ever, ever. They could say that it's going to go build an orphanage and it'll end up in somebody else's pocket. The rest would land on food assistance and education. Oh, it's all for the kids. It's all for the kids. Oh, I'm not downplaying legislation that could actually help kids. I'm just saying that this is, we'll give them 10%. That'll help them. This way we can sell it to the idiot voters in California. They'll love it. Oh, if you don't support this, you hate children. Anyway, supporters wave it around as emergency medicine for Medi-Cal. Critics see something simpler. A radical wealth grab that treats private property like a public piggy bank. And that's exactly what this does, to be clear. I mean, Gavin Newsom, with his ambitions of having a presidential run in 2028, he doesn't want this on his record. So he's like, oh, no way, we don't want that. Of course, he is on the side. He's saying, well, but we could look at a billionaire tax as long as it's nationwide, huh? He's playing both sides here. He's saying it'll hurt California, but if it's nationwide and they've got no place to escape other than Europe or Australia or wherever, Somaliland, if they got no place to escape in the United States, then hey, then it's not such a bad idea. So don't take Gavin Newsom's objection as anything other than he doesn't want this on his record, destroying his state, because it will destroy the state. He knows that. It will drive away the revenue. As far as Becerra, he's like, hey, yeah, that's great. Get money for my first year and to clear up some budgets, but then what happens when everybody leaves? Because they will. So many of them will leave. I don't care if it says a one-time tax. These are billionaires, which means that unless they're like, Taylor Swift billionaire, they're not stupid. They got to become billionaires because they can recognize lies such as what the California state legislature is trying to sell them. Newsom has fought this thing for months. He warned that a state-only wealth tax would put California at a competitive disadvantage because the ultra-rich can and will simply leave. He pushed instead for a federal version so no one could escape. Becerra, the Democrat nominee to replace him, also said no. And again, his reasons are that he's not going to benefit from it nearly as much during his term, and he'll face the repercussions. He'll have to clean up the mess after they throw the big party right before he gets into office. assuming he wins, which that's not, I don't want to give anybody hope. It's not guaranteed. It's likely. It's California, but it's not guaranteed. On Friday, he reaffirmed his opposition while backing Proposition 3, which would lock in an existing income tax surcharge on high earners for education. He's all in favor of confiscating money from rich people, just not just the billionaires. He wants to, instead of taking a bunch from the billionaires, he wants to take a little bit more from everybody else who's making X amount of money. Because again, he too, and just like Newsom, they're both, when I say they're the good guys on this one, they're only the good guys because they want to stop the instantaneous disaster. They're still in favor of a steadier decline, a healthier destruction of the state of California and the nation, the United States of America. Both men know the numbers. California already leans heavily on its top earners for income tax revenues. Chase enough of them out, and the whole progressive tax machine starts coughing, or collapsing, as I would put it. That did not stop the party's grassroots. The resolutions committee recommended support. Then the executive board, meeting in San Diego, failed to clear the 60% threshold on the first try. 2 delegates flipped. The final tally hit 61%, 145 to 90, among the 235 present. Cheers broke out. The divide inside the party is now public and raw. Labor is split too. You got some unions liking it, some others hating it. California has already watched high earners and companies head for lower tax states. Elon Musk, Sergey Brin. Tech heavyweights have poured money into competing measures designed to blunt Prop 40 if it passes. The threat is real because the tax is not a simple income surcharge. It reaches into total net worth. Stocks, private businesses, real estate, art, the works. It's not just about how much money you make. It's about how much you have, regardless of how you got it. This is why, in my not so humble opinion, this is completely illegal. And the only reprieve we really have, assuming that it is going to pass, is through the courts. That's the only thing that in my humble opinion, not so humble, that's the only thing that can stop it. And it needs to be stopped because, again, this is a disaster. And for those of you who say, oh, well, it's bad for California, but good for the rest of America because billionaires will leave and go to some other state, probably Texas, maybe Florida, who knows, and then they'll just pay their taxes there, and maybe they'll be in a state that doesn't have taxes, and everything's going to be hunky-dory. When you have this much capital, this isn't just like, oh, it's a mass exodus from New York City, and you got a few dozen, millionaires and billionaires that are fed up with it. It's a drop in the bucket compared to the overall tax burden. Because again, people like to say, oh, it's all about the rich, except the middle class is the one that carries the tax burden in all of these cities, all of these states. But in California, such a mass exodus that we're talking about would also be a mass exodus of jobs. It would start the dominoes falling. This could be catastrophic. And if California is hit with something this catastrophic, it is going to have repercussions across the nation. Like it or not, and I know most of us don't like it considering the politics out here in California, but this is the state that is in many ways the heartbeat of aspects of American life. If New York City is the heartbeat of business, which is quickly becoming Dallas, by the way, as more of that beating heart of business, but that's a discussion for another day. California is the beating heart when it comes to big tech, entertainment, even the energy aspect of it. I know we have horrible energy policies out here, but we still look at it. It's still an extremely important aspect of the California and the national economy. But the food aspect is still, that's the big one, and that's the part where I'm most terrified. Our food infrastructure here in America cannot afford for California to start to crumble underneath the weight of its own stupidity. And that seems to be what's happening. And again, if Gavin Newsom can't stop him, if Xavier Becerra can't stop him, if the feckless GOP out here in California can't stop him, then we're just going to have to go to court.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.